Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we'll be covering the world's most expensive surf destinations. And our first stop on the trip is to Malibu, California. Now, Malibu offers appealing right-hand point break, home to surf culture since the 1950s. However, no place can stay cool forever, and this is true especially in surfing. Back in the 1950s, you still had surf barbarians living out of their vans up and down the coast of California. These surfers would string together a few dollars to cover living expenses and then head out to sea and enjoy the surf. In current day Malibu, the lineups are full of bankers, lawyers, tech bros, and movie stars. Nothing wrong with this, it's just how things evolve, especially in the surf world. Now, I got curious about planning a surf trip to Malibu, as the Pat Moriarty Surf Company is thriving. We've just crossed over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Whilst checking Airbnb, I was able to find an absolute steal. It would only cost $36.5 thousand to stay at this Malibu house for a week. Unfortunately, I make only 75 cents a day off YouTube, so it's a bit over budget. Maybe we can get there next year. Next, we hop around the Pacific Ocean to the Gold Coast in Queensland, specifically Snapper Rocks. This wave is world class, but you'll have to outbid the next guy to get quality accommodation here, and probably snake a few people in the lineup to catch a wave. This wave is known for the hectic crowds and intense localism. However, connecting a ride at Snapper Rocks is surely rewarding and definitely worth the price you pay. Maybe it makes more sense to plan a trip here to the Gold Coast. Even with a flight across the Pacific, I'm much better off going to the Gold Coast than I would be Malibu. After having a look on Airbnb, I can score a perfectly nice apartment right by the wave for only $1.1K a week. Not bad, but still a bit outside my budget. Oh well, maybe once I get sponsored by Monster Energy or Red Bull, I'll make the trip to the Gold Coast and score some waves at Snapper Rocks. It'll happen, just give it time. Third on the list, we head to the proving ground, Hawaii's North Shore. The fascinating thing about all these mega expensive surf destinations is that they are also mega crowded. Now, I like fancy cafes, smoothie bowls, and hot yoga just as much as the other guy, but paying more money for crowded waves seems a bit backwards for me. Anyway, the North Shore is no joke, and most of the people flocking to the North Shore for the winter are there just to witness the epic madness that takes place. An underlooked cost of living in Hawaii is the groceries. The groceries are essentially 2 times what you might find in the mainland of the US. For example, here you can see a gallon of milk in Hawaii could run you $7.69, which means I would need to make YouTube videos for 10 days straight in order to afford 1 gallon of milk in Hawaii. That's pretty good, to be honest. Now, back to the surf. The North Shore has a strip of waves that pumps all winter long. Waimea, Sunset, Pipeline, Rockies, and more are all top-notch waves that feel the full force of the Pacific. What makes Hawaii swell so powerful is the fact that we have raw, open ocean swell that meets volcanic rock. Essentially, there is nothing to break the power of the waves until they reach shore, making the North Shore one of the most sought-after surf destinations in the world. For those of you wondering, a quaint little home on the North Shore would run you roughly $7.7K a week in peak season. Next on the list, we hop across the Atlantic to Hossegor, France, one of the top beach breaks in the world and widely regarded capital of surfing in France. In this town, you can find thriving surf shops alongside 5-star French cafes. The wave quality is credited to the Golfe de Cape Breton, which is the underwater canyon just off the coast, which produces massive hollow waves. This deep water canyon allows waves to arrive to the coast, and then once it hits that beach break of Hossegor, all that swell gets jacked up and jacked forward, creating these massive hollow beach breaks. Prime time for surf in Hossegor is September to October. In this season, we have storms that form in the Atlantic and send swell to the west coast of Europe. Additionally, the landscape benefits from beautiful autumn days comprised of dry air with just a hint of chill. In my most recent trip to Indonesia, I met a group of girls leading an all-female surf retreat in Hossegor in September. The price? A cool 2.2 thousand euros for 7 days. Now, spending $2,000 to hang out with these chicks for 7 days honestly might be worth it. The name is the Omano Club. You should go check them out. Finally, the most expensive way to go surfing in the world, the Abu Dhabi wave pool. Yep, you heard that right. We head to the desert, Abu Dhabi, surfing in the UAE. In October of 2024, the Abu Dhabi wave pool opened its doors, creating a true surf oasis in the Middle Eastern desert. The wave pool offers beginner to advanced waves coming at a steep price. You can book an advanced session for 3.5 thousand AED, which is equivalent to about 950 US dollars. In these 90-minute sessions, each surfer has a chance to catch roughly 5 to 6 waves. And after doing some back-of-the-napkin math, each wave costs around $190. And as rides last for about 50 seconds each, you're paying roughly $3.80 per second standing up on the board. Now, this is pretty mental. However, when you take a look at this wave, it might just be worth it. If you look at Kelly's wave, this wave has 2 barrel sections and strung together by high performance walls that some of the best surfers in the world can really rip up. Now, I don't see myself surfing this wave anytime soon. However, it is pretty cool to see what man can do and how we can manipulate water in such an interesting way. Additionally, the Abu Dhabi wave pool is centered in the middle of a transit hub, so pro surfers coming from either Europe or the Americas tend to have to stop in Abu Dhabi anyway before arriving in Indonesia. So washing off the jet lag in the Abu Dhabi wave pool could be a fun thing to do. Okay, all this math is honestly making my head hurt, and to be honest, one of the reasons I fell in love with surfing was it goes hand in hand with a simple lifestyle. After food, water, and shelter are taken care of, you can enjoy the beauty and magic of the ocean for free. Now, there is nothing wrong with spending some dough and enjoying the fruits of your labor, but rest assured that there are plenty of epic, consistent, and uncrowded waves still out there waiting to be surfed. You just need to put on your Explorer cap and take the road less traveled. Thanks for tuning in, and if you are preparing for a surf trip, make sure you download my free 28-day paddle power guide. It'll get you in the best surf shape of your life, and if you're going to one of these destinations, you get my guide for free so you can spend money on your surf accommodation. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscription button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.